Skill is what you can do. Positioning is how that value is perceived, understood, and paid for. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Quiet Leaders podcast. Now, lately, I've been having a lot of conversations with other integrators. And these are not public conversations. These are the quiet, behind the scenes ones. And they're the kind where we are really transparent and we're sharing what's actually going on in both our life and our business. And after enough of these conversations, I have realized something important, and that there is a pattern that has been showing up, and a really clear one. So today, I want to talk about what I've been seeing, and more importantly, why it feels the way it does for so many integrators right now. So if you've been feeling stuck, restless, frustrated, or like you should be further along by now, this episode is for you. So here is what I'm seeing behind the scenes. I'm seeing integrators who are highly capable, deeply trusted by their clients, and often holding more responsibility than anyone in the business. And they're the ones who they see the big picture. They connect the dots between strategy, operations, and execution. They catch problems before they become emergencies, and they keep things moving while others freeze. And yet, when they talk about themselves, there is this hesitation. And they'll say things like, I don't know if I'm really an integrator yet. I feel like I do more than what I'm paid for, but I don't know how to change that. I know I'm valuable, I just don't know how to explain what I do. And every time I hear these things, I think, you are not lacking skill, you're just lacking a frame. What's especially interesting is who this is happening to. It's not beginners. It's not people who just started freelancing last month. It's people who have years of experience, have supported businesses through growth, pivots, launches, burnouts, chaos. They have been the steady presence when everything else felt unstable. And they're often the dependable one, the one who just figures it out, the one clients lean on without needing to ask twice. And because of that, they've really built their identity around being helpful, flexible, adaptable, easy to work with, which are all beautiful traits. But here's the quiet downside that no one talks about. Those traits can keep you under-positioned. Now, here's where I want to pause and reframe something. If you've been thinking, I should be further along by now, I want you to hear this clearly. That feeling is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of transition. Most integrators don't stall because they're doing the wrong things. They stall because their role has evolved faster than their positioning. Their responsibility has grown faster than their authority. And their impact has expanded faster than their language. And when those things get out of sync, it creates this internal tension. And you start to question yourself, you start wondering if you missed something, and you start thinking that you need more skills. But most of the time, you don't need more skills, you need clearer positioning. Now, this is the distinction I see almost no one naming clearly enough. Skill is what you can do. Positioning is how that value is perceived, understood, and paid for. You can be incredibly skilled, yet still be under-positioned. In fact, I see so many integrators who are doing strategic thinking, decision support, systems leadership, operational oversight, but yet they're still positioning themselves as a virtual assistant, a helper, a task doer, or someone who just supports. And that disconnect can create this frustration. Because on the inside, you're probably thinking, I am doing way more than this. But on the outside, nothing changes. unless you change how the role is framed. So here is what underpositioning actually costs you. It costs you being paid for time instead of impact, for feeling responsible without having authority, for carrying that emotional and operational weight that isn't acknowledged, and wanting fewer clients but feeling like you can't afford to let any go. And this is where burnout sneaks in. Not because you don't love the work, but because you're holding leadership without being resourced as a leader. And that can be really exhausting. And there's another layer here that matters. Many integrators come into this work through caregiving roles, support roles, corporate assistant or ops roles, survival seasons where being adaptable mattered more than being visible. So it's likely they learned how to read the room, how to anticipate needs, and how to put others first. And those skills make incredible integrators. But they don't automatically teach you how to claim your authority, lead conversations, and define your role instead of inheriting it. And that's not a flaw. That's the missing piece or the gap. So if you're listening to this and nodding along, I want you to hear this part clearly. You are not behind. You are actually at the edge of something. An edge where the old way of being, the reliable one, starts to feel too small. The work you're doing deserves clear definition. And you're being invited to lead, not just support. And being on the edge can feel uncomfortable. It can create some friction. It makes you question yourself. And that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Instead, it usually means that you're ready for a different level of clarity. And I'm really noticing something important right now with these integrators. And this episode is just the beginning of that conversation. If what I shared today put words to something you've been feeling, that sense of doing more than your role reflects, or knowing that you're capable of more, but you're not quite sure how to shift it, I want to invite you to go deeper with me. On February 11th at 1 p.m. Central, I am hosting a free live training called From Task Support to Strategic Partner, the shift most integrators never make. And in this training, we're going to explore why so many integrators or behind-the-scenes leaders get stuck in these support roles even when they're leading. What actually changes when you move from being helpful to being strategic, and how to begin repositioning yourself without burning bridges or starting over. So if this episode resonated, this training will be a next powerful step. You can find the details and save your spot in the show notes. I hope to see you there, and I will see you in the next episode.